posse right there? You seen them? Yeah. Right here.
Oh, nice.
Cool,
Send it to Josephine. She has a collection of all of them.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
All right.
Her and Oki collected them all. Hold it.
I don't want to.
You be the Ustream. I need somebody to video because I got two cameras for work at NATO. Documentation.
Yeah. We did a bunch of sidewalk chalk.
I was there earlier in the morning.
Yeah. The police said we could not chalk the driveway because that was only kind of big.
The police are pretty serious about chalk here. I got arrested once for writing in chalk on a building.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, property destruction.
Yeah, one of the walkers had been arrested. He's not here right now for chalking, and one other person in San Diego was arrested for drawing artwork on the ground with sidewalk chalk. Even though we had a letter from Crayola Chalk saying it's environmentally safe, it won't hurt anything, it washes off with water. Yeah, we wrote an email to Crayola, and they actually told us that if something did happen, they would be interested in suing the city of San Diego. They used their name in court. So, but with the NLG and stuff, none of that'll happen. So, I mean, the NLG is great for law advice, but you better know how to look up law and defend yourself.
They won't even show up to the arena. It's just insane.
Yeah.
They're better in Oakland,
And so anyway, they said at the protest over there, they wanted to become friendly and peaceful and stay on the sidewalk and don't upset the police because a lot of people who work in that protest cannot afford to have officers. And the NLG guy, when we got there, they were coming through when we got there.
20.
Yeah, the NLG guy said that there were 40 earlier and they were welcome to sleep there and they're going to bring cars there so people can sleep inside cars so they don't have to sleep outside. The NLG guy said that you're allowed to sleep on the sidewalk, which you can't do.
What are the laws for sleeping in a vehicle in the city of Chicago?
I don't know what the laws are. We've been doing it at Woodlawn. Like every night I've slept in my car a few nights there.
Occupy San Diego, I slept in my car. I mean, almost every so many nights, it's not even fun.
Yeah, and at Woodlawn they're pretty chill too. So if you're at Logan over there and it seems like things are a little hot, you can go there and roll into the car.
What about like chairs, furniture, and things like that? Can you put those on the sidewalk?
You know, the thing about the laws is that they have to kind of make up the laws as they go, and then they deal with like the actual law when they get you.
Right.
They don't care what the
Right.
They don't know the law.
So then we can do whatever we want.
You can do what you want, they can do what you want.
Right. They can do whatever. They can do whatever they want. Everybody can do whatever they want.
Energy in Chicago.
Can I bump a cigarette off you?
Yeah.
Oh, here's someone that didn't want it. Oh,
Hey.
yeah. Ted.
Hi, Ted.
How you doing? Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
Are you live streaming right now?
Should we start?
I suppose.
Why should we to know?
Need a lighter, sorry. I don't have my lighter. Good.
Welcome everyone. Starting GA now. So if you'll be participating in GA, please take a seat on the steps and huddle together because we are one big happy family. Yeah, if you are going to be smoking, please be mindful of those around you. Make sure it's cool with everyone around you. And if need be, just step over to the side. As always, we are a non-violent, peaceful, non-partisan movement. No drugs, alcohol allowed when participating in Occupy Chicago events and meetings. So that means anything in your person or on your person. Not just because you don't want you showing up drunk and high in meetings, but also as a safe precaution to others so that you don't endanger anyone that might otherwise be in danger of a crime status. Of the undocumented. So, was anyone at the last GA that wants to give a quick summary? Obviously, they voted to move the GA here since we're all here. Ted?
What about the last GA?
Yeah, a quick summary of the last GA.
Well, that was one topic of discussion. We passed a couple of proposals to fund the stay at Cermak over the NATO business, and then some more money for some other stuff, and then Matt of the mental health movement gave a real good summary, a lengthy one, but a good summary of what happened, what's been going on with Woodlawn. Really good. I wish somebody had taped it or something. But anyway, and that's all I can remember for now. It was a pretty good GA.
Solid. Alright, so start things off. Shoot things off with committee announcements. Stack just kind of to the side of me in an informant line. Also, we have a live stream going, so if you don't want to be on camera, just kind of stand off to the side, whatnot. But if you have any type of announcements from any of the committees or working groups, get up here now and make them. Not all at once, though. Are they the only one? Okay, well, yesterday there was a movement building meeting. It was really good and had a solid turnout, just like the meeting before. And starting yesterday, we decided that we're going to really officially start our outreach committee again, since the A7 working group never really developed into our outreach. So we have about 4 or 5 people that are kind of really excited to start that up again. And we also probably want to try and take a different direction with our outreach, opposed to what we were doing before, just kind of like cold calling and just sending out emails or random posts. We're actually going to try and do a little more complex like marketing strategies to try to actually really engage different communities and different demographics. We're not really sure how we're going to go about doing that, but that's the kind of general sense around it, for the most part.
There's a question on that.
Yeah.
When's the next outreach meeting?
I don't know. I just got all the emails yesterday, so when I get home tonight, I'll send out emails to all those people and be like, when do you want to meet next? What should we do? How should we communicate? Do you want to do Google Groups? Do you want to use some other type of platform?
So can you post me that information when you find out when the next meeting is? Can you post it up on the wall and start acting?
I shall do that. Are you timekeeping? Okay. Alright, calls for assistance. Anyone that has a project going, like the new outreach committee that needs help getting it started, go up here and make your call for assistance. But not all at once. Oh, this is such a fun
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in kind of like dire straits of a lot of projects need funding. We really need to approve funding for them. There aren't very many of us here. Maybe that's something that we should talk about before we move forward with these proposals. As in, are there enough of us here to give away thousands of dollars of money?
That's what we're up for.
This like can't wait.
I know.
Point of information in a GA, it is direct participation. If the proposal was given out 24 hours in advance, then go for it.
I don't really know the hand signals, but I would just, is there a quorum? Like, is there, no?
It's usually just kind of temp checked when we go there based on like what the amount is and how many people are there. Like I got like a $50 like proposal pass like a few weeks ago when there's only like 8 of us here. If it was like a $5,000 proposal, it definitely would not have been voted on with only 8 people there. But in fact, it was like a really simple proposal kind of to support, and it was only $50. It just kind of went through. So yeah, it depends on really the time sensitivity of it and also the amount of money that is being asked.
Give away or spend money, which GAs are fully able to do, authorized to do, maybe it'll get people to come to GAs.
Yeah, but we've discussed that several times about even writing phony proposals like in the past. But
this proposal's been online for like a week now, and it was proposed on Saturday.
Yeah, that's how it usually go. So
I have 2 emergency proposals that have not been online.
would they have to be online or to have them be voted on?
They're emergency proposals. I have no idea.
You made it. Okay.
I don't know.
As in,
I got told about this today.
so would it be do or die for them to be voted on tonight? Like if we don't vote on it tonight, then it's dead.
Yeah, there's no big deal. We don't get a conversion space.
So that seems pretty important. We should definitely be discussing. And yours also very, very time sensitive. Do or die.
It's the NATO art budget.
Okay, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, seeing as we need stuff to get done for NATO, that would seem as valuable proposals. So I guess it doesn't seem like we have any calls for assistance. So
Unless people want to help with NATO stuff, NATO art stuff.
and then we could also probably just open up a general chatting session about stuff. At least getting more people out to GA and whatnot. How we can try and build movements a little more, add on some of those topics and whatnot. So, let's see, do we want to just do the presentations first? Okay. So, what do we want to do first?
Mine's NATO art budget. Oh, hi, I'm Jackie. So we're asking for money for the following projects. I think on Tuesday, I'm not certain if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, we're doing a Gitmo fashion show to spread awareness about Guantanamo Bay and the injustices of NDA and all of that. So we're going to put on a Gitmo fashion show. So we need jumpsuits and supplies to make the clothing. So that's $140. Then we need to make banners for all of the NATO stuff, and we need a bolt of vinyl to do that, and that's $120. Then we have stickers for Boeing, for the Boeing action, and they're actually on their way, and they cost $300. And then we need $80 to print the flyers, and then $160 for this big environmental action, which involves like a giant pipeline and oil, and to bring awareness to the tar sands and the pipeline that the oil company is wanting to build, and we need that to not happen. So in total, it's $800. It's the NATO art budget. It really needs to pass for all of our stuff to happen at NATO, and if it doesn't pass, then we're not going to have anything for their week of action.
Do you know, or do either of you or anyone off chance know what our last current standing balance was?
8,000. About 8,000.
Does that include next month's benefit?
Well, right now our friends are being funded by our benefactor.
100%?
Yeah, because we got rid of 700.
Okay. That's good to know.
So, hi, I'm Rachel with the press committee. I've got one proposal that is not mine, it's someone else's proposal. So the idea is that we would really like to have a convergence space for NATO that is not at CERMAC, and that it could possibly have more uses than CERMAC has, like a really big warehouse. So what we'd like to do is be authorized to take $1,000 out and put it aside in case we do find that space in the next week or so, and we can rent it. And then we're working with a couple of donors, big organizations here in Chicago, who's pretty much committed to give about $500, but they too are waiting to see if we find a space. So proposal number 1 is putting aside $1,000 for a convergence space. It's not necessarily going to be used, but since it's kind of hard for us to access our money and we can't access it without GA approval, we want to put it aside just in case. Proposal number 2 is for the mental health movement. We'd like Occupy Chicago to endorse the mental health movement call to occupy the clinics in Chicago. They've called for everybody who's coming to town to NATO to occupy these 6 mental health clinics that are being closed by the city. There are only 12 mental health clinics in the city that are public in total. They're closing half of them, and it's going to be a horrible situation. 20 people have already been hospitalized from the clinics that have closed. So we would like an endorsement for that, for the mental health movement.
Okay, usually we would do a quick breakout, just to discuss these topics. Leave up to people if you want to do a breakout to discuss in groups or address presenters, or we can just go straight into stack and start talking about it. Does that sound good?
Hello.
Okay. So first
Hello.
stack on Jackie's proposal, the NATO park.
Not bad, I'm streaming though. Let me call you back after I'm done.
So anyone that wants to discuss
Yes, the GA.
our finances about art or NATO.
Yes, by the horses. I don't know. First one I've ever been to.
They're necessary to get things done immediately for NATO, so I favor all of that stuff.
Okay. I will. I'll see you in the game. I'm streaming. Yeah.
I second that for the most part. That's the whole point of having planning and whatnot. I mean, you have all that stuff, all that time you put in on meetings, and maybe it's kind of wasteful to put it into a GA and be like, oh shit, what happened to people? I don't think we should vote on this. So that's why we're doing all this organizing, all this planning, just that we can get that stuff approved for the most part. Yeah, so I'm in favor of it.
Can you speak up,
Pretty
David?
obvious. Yes, I'm in favor of it. And anyone else? Somebody is, right? Next, do the first one that we did. This was the convergence space. So if anyone wants to stack on that. Actually, ask real quick, do you have any leads into like where the space might be, or
I
like
know
how much
there are
this might?
people that are working on it. I don't know exactly what they're looking into, but again, this isn't a proposal for the money to be spent.
Yeah.
This is a proposal for it to be put aside, and if we find an appropriate space, then we'll spend it.
Do you know, like, assuming that like, who came up with this number somewhere, so assuming they know that what the price point's going to be?
It's a round estimate guess, and if we find something cheaper, then we won't spend all the money. We were trying to make sure that if we can possibly get a space, that we won't be held up by having to wait like 6 or 7 days to get our money, in which case NATO will be over, and we won't need a warehouse.
And this is only for NATO. You won't pay.
No, this is just to short-term rent for a NATO conversion space. Yeah. It's too small, and it also, our relationship with the building owner is stretched very thin right now. Let's face it, we know people are sleeping in the space, breaking the rules. I don't really care, but it's not a good situation in terms of making sure that space will be available to us. So we want to lock down another space that maybe is a little looser on the rules, and maybe isn't like with the Secret Service having like their tower on the roof, and isn't like blocked from the red zone.
So they changed the code there, and it's not easy to get into. I mean, it never was. And now they changed the code altogether, and they're not giving it out.
They're not because of all the rule breaking.
Yeah.
Can't get in it even for this weekend?
You can get in, but somebody has to let you in. Somebody has to be there at the door personally.
How does somebody know that somebody is going in?
For scheduled things, there should
Okay.
be somebody.
Yeah, we can have this discussion at another time, at another place. So, real quick, do you want to just go ahead and just vote on these real quick?
There's one more.
Oh.
Endorsing the football.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, endorsing the mental health movement, keeping our public health clinics open. Anyone want to talk about that? Yeah.
Could you summarize that once more?
Sure. So the mental health movement has put out a call for all protesters who are coming to town for NATO to help occupy the 6 mental health clinics that have been closed down by Mayor Manuel. And so they're asking for solidarity under the banner of healthcare, not warfare. And they really need help bringing light to this issue. It's not just like fighting for a cause or making a dent in NATO. It's fighting for people's lives who are being ruined by these clinics being closed. And if we can elevate their struggle to the international stage, we might really help them put pressure on Emmanuel, and we might help save the clinic.
We happen to know like all the addresses of the ones.
Right now, the only two that have 24-hour occupations are at 6337 South Woodlawn at Woodlawn and 63rd, and on the 2300 block of Milwaukee at Milwaukee and Fullerton.
I know the occupation on Milwaukee. There's kind of like there's a lot of sentiment about not upsetting the cops or kind of a more reserved nature. With summits like this, historically speaking, there are camps that have a more radical population that do kind of spur of the moment marches or whatever. And will all the occupations be in that same sense of reserved nature, or is it kind of
all of the mental health movement occupations will be, because the nature of their struggle is so community based, and this is what they've asked for. They said, if you want to come to our occupation, we really don't want conflict with the cops because it's going to take away from their message of saving the clinic. If people decide that they want to encamp, Occupy Chicago hasn't like endorsed that through the GA or anything, but our resources, including our social media and our press, will be available to you. And if people want to have a more radical encampment, that sounds cool. It's just not appropriate at the mental health movement.
Yeah. So that's that. So we're ready to vote on this for the most part. All of these.
Call the consensus.
Yeah. Alright, so first off, the NATO art proposal of $800 to be spent on NATO art projects so we can have awesome stuff for our actions. All those against? All those in favor? Keep your hand up. Let me count you off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
10. And just for counting numbers, all those who didn't vote, all those who abstained. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? Okay. 4 abstentions, 10 in favor. Yeah.
Jackie, what's your vote?
Huh? Oh, 11. 11 in favor.
Yeah.
11 in favor, 4 abstentions, and 0 against.
You don't have it in English? My count has Spanish.
Sorry, no problem. The second proposal, which is to set aside $1,000 for convergence space in the event that we do find something down the road for ourselves. All those in favor? Say nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyone else? All against? All against? Nobody? And abstentions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. So, yeah, passes unanimously. 9 in favor, 5 abstentions, no one against. Yeah. And lastly, the official endorsement for all occupiers to occupy the mental health clinics in solidarity with the ongoing struggle to keep those clinics open. All those in favor? Yeah, the proposal is an official endorsement, call out for all occupiers to occupy mental health clinics in solidarity with that movement that's going on to keep those health clinics open. So all those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 in favor, all those against? 0 and abstentions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 12 in favor, 5 abstentions, no one against. So everything passes. We did democracy.
Yay! Direct democracy.
All right. So that's all the kind of dirty business for the most part. Since we don't have much of a structured agenda for the most part, we'll do a quick session for general announcements. And then afterwards, I say we can open up for kind of a somewhat structured, open discussion. I guess something kind of like we were doing with movement building meetings recently. They were really productive and kind of got a lot of ideas flowing. Got everyone really engaged, so I think we'll probably go with that for the most part. So first up, any general announcements anyone wants to make, either coming from your own occupation or things in general. Just kind of start forming a line this way.
Hello, my name's Ken. I'm from the Chicago Teachers Union. I'm a teacher at a high school, and we're the tip of the spear just like you guys are. I just came from the House of Delegates meeting, and we're going on strike. It looks pretty definite. You know, we're tired of being punked, by our mayor. You can't take it anymore. You want a longer day, longer year, you don't want to pay us, forget about it. I got plenty of literature. I don't want to take any of this with me. I want you to pass it out to whoever's interested. Grab some for not only yourself, but other people. There's also a nurses thing. Who knows nurses, teachers, this rally over here on the 23rd? We're going to go at the auditorium, us teachers. The whole union's meeting over there. As many people as can get in there, all the members. I went to Labor Notes. I saw one of the occupiers over there. Labor Notes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He was with us, we were with them. That's why I'm here. Got my fiance down the street. I got to go and eat dinner with her. But she said, go do this and then come back and eat. Okay. So, take the literature. Pass it along. We're in this together. I want you guys to know that teachers are with you. We're with the teachers. We're with the occupiers. I told everybody in the House of Delegates going in and going out. I was coming down to Occupy to give some literature out, and let's all be a part of this movement together. They were glad. They said, let the occupiers know that we're with them, and please join us, okay? This is going to be a hell of a rally on the 23rd. Also on the 18th, we're going to get labor, nurses, teachers. I was talking to contractors down the street. It's going, at this labor notes thing, it's going all over the world. The 1% is screwing everybody all over the place. In China, they're trying to start up unions in China. The government is being so repressive and beating up so many people over there trying to start a union. It's like how the 30s were with the miners here. People can't even grow a middle class over there. They want to repress it before they even get started. So, this is serious stuff. I don't need to tell you that. I'm just reinforcing some things that many of you already know. Anything else? Anybody got a question for me? Or you want me to take a message back to the teachers? We're with them. Okay.
Solidarity.
All right. Solidarity. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll promote this as like the big life after NATO thing.
Okay.
So we'll make sure to get that out all over the place.
Okay, great. Thank you. Gotta go for dinner, or otherwise I'm in trouble with the. But thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Chris. I'm from Occupy Walk USA. We're in town to stand in solidarity with Occupy Chicago and help in any way possible for this NATO action. If you need help with media, let us know. We'll use Freedom. If you need help with safety, we'll help. We got people that can help with safety on marches. We got people that can make signs with you. We can do anything. Don't be afraid to ask. Sometimes when people go to a lot of other occupations, the other occupations, they're a little bit hesitant of asking the new people for help. Don't be. This is NATO. We all have to work together to kick their ass. Other thing, when we go back to our walk, if any of you would like to join us and walk across the country, we would love to have you. The more diversity and the more people, the better the statement is, and the better the chance we have of waking up the people in America. and the rest of the world.
You don't have to walk the whole way. You can walk.
Yes, you can just walk a mile. You can walk 10 miles. You can walk 1,000 miles. You can walk any amount of miles you want. Solidarity is just one step. Are you?
Hey, I'm Rachel. I've got two quick announcements. First, at 11 a.m. at 500 West Cermak tomorrow in room 700, we'll be holding a press conference with all of the biggest groups that are planning actions and events during NATO. So we've got the veterans with IVAW, we've got the nurses with National Nurses United, we've got the Barefoot Summit people, Chicago Indie Media, the Coalition Against NATO G8 War and Poverty Agenda, and a few more actually. So what we would really love is to have some people there to, let's face it, just be a good image for the TV. We want to show our strength and our diversity. So if anyone is comfortable with being on TV and is willing to come and hang out during the press conference, come by at about 10:30 to room 700 at Cermak. And then if you're willing to chat with the media afterwards, I'm sure they're going to be looking for one-on-one interviews. The other announcement is, there are some press trainings. If anybody is interested in speaking to the press, or even just finding better ways to articulate why you yourself are against NATO, or find ways to talk about the way the city is creating all this fear-mongering and talking about violence when it's NATO who's violent, then come on down to Cermak in room 500. We're going to do that Thursday from 1 to 3 and 6 to 8, and Friday from 1 to 3 and 6 to 8.
Say that again. It went so fast, it went over my head.
Come to the press training Thursday or Friday at Cermak, 1 to 3, or 6 to 8.
68, okay.
Hi, my name's Adam. I'm a paramedic, and if anybody knows a way for me to get in touch with some of the medical teams, I've tried and failed repeatedly. I'm trying to. Okay, so yes. Okay, I'll be talking to you.
I think this guy, right?
This guy?
Yeah, I mean, the street medic, bridge training is,
Let me come up here.
what is that?
Isn't it like...
Spreading the health. Yeah, it's like Saturday.
Yeah, it already happened.
No, that's the street medic training. The bridge training for healthcare professionals who want to help with the protest march is this weekend. And then there's also affinity group training as well, which I don't know off the top of my head. It's on their website.
Okay.
What's that?
That's Sunday from 9 to 6.
The affinity group is Sunday from 9 to 6, and that's where I believe anybody who wants to help out with the street medics, and when bridge training is.
That's on Spreading the Health website.
That is on Spreading the Health
It
website.
is on the website.
Okay, cool.
What website?
Spreadingthehealth.org.
Spreadingthehealth.org.
It's also through Chicago National Medical.
Chicago, because I've tried like online. That's where I'm trying out now.
Scott's the person you probably want to get in touch with, and I can give you Scott's contact. Or you can. Okay.
You're prettier than me.
Yeah, but you're right here. She has to go.
Okay.
Alright, I just have one quick announcement.
Sorry.
Sorry. For those who don't know, this summer there's going to be another Occupy the Midwest conference. It's going to be in Detroit from August 23rd to the 26th. If you want to get involved with the planning and organizing, let me know. I'm doing just about everything I could possibly do and then a little bit more. So we need some help, especially some city outreach as well as just some general planning. This time around, like last time in St. Louis, the whole kind of purpose was just kind of bring cities and people together and kind of get them talking and at least be able to kind of set the lines of communication. This time around, we're actually going to be looking to try and advance some of our like techniques and tactics that we've been using so far, as well as present some like innovative projects and ideas that we might have to actually like help better communities. So if you have an idea that you think can like help people, help build communities and whatnot, let us know, and then we'll try and figure ways to kind of incorporate everything. But right now we're still in the very early planning stages, so if you can help out, that'd be great. So anyone else doesn't have any other general announcements? Yes. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Dylan with the Education Committee. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that the People's Summit is coming up this weekend. If you go to our website at peoplessummitchicago.org, we have areas listed on there where you can offer to volunteer. And also, if you're planning on attending, if you could register, that would be super cool, just so we can get an idea of numbers. Because there's going to be a bunch of free food, and we want to just get a general sense of how much food should be made. So if you just check out that website and put that stuff up, that'd be really, really helpful. Thanks. peoplessummitchicago.org. Yeah.
How do you register? I don't have a computer.
Sure. Yeah, I'll talk to you during a breakout session. Yeah.
People Summit.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I have flyers if you want.
Alright, so that's the general chunk of our General Assembly. So for the remaining time, since we got through this pretty fast, leave it up to people if we want to do kind of a guided discussion for the most part. I guess it will somewhat resemble the movement building meetings that we've been having recently for those who've been to those. Basically what we just do for that format is we kind of go around, or we can just do a quick stack on topics that people would want to discuss, what they would want to see come out of Occupy in general. Like some of the past topics have been things like what do we want to try and get out of NATO? Why is it exactly that we are protesting NATO? How can we improve community building? How can we improve our outreach? It can be anything and anything really that you want to talk about as far as what you want to do in Occupy and what you want to get out of Occupy. They could even just be philosophical discussions if you want. So I'll open up Stack for a few minutes for any discussion topics you guys want to throw out there. And then we can settle on maybe 2 or 3 main ones that we can have breakout sessions in. So anyone that wants to propose a topic, come up and step.
Oh, I know it's you.
I think and like I've noticed this is a large topic kind of around the country. The language that's used in reference to both drugs and the people who use drugs is something that I think needs to be further addressed. I mean, I'm not, obviously it's just topics, but like kind of along the lines of reinforcing false rhetoric and kind of perpetuating policies that we've seen not working. Like we've created a law, but I'm sure people come here fucked up sometimes. So it's kind of a larger problem that needs to be discussed about.
I'll throw one out there. I've just been like thinking about this for a long time and just don't really know where to go with it next. I just would like to know what people think about what the next step is for Occupy, because we have like a well-established sense like where we are for the past like 5 months, just like creating an encampment or creating a presence in some city, organizing people with different skill sets and applying them towards different projects. But I'm just wondering what people think is like the next step to kind of get us to the next level. What would it be exactly that would be able to double our numbers in the next like 6 months? What would it take to mobilize a shitload of people, like hundreds of thousands of people? I'm not sure there's a lot of different ways that we can go about doing that, but I'm not sure exactly which one or what combination would be best to go about doing that. So that'd be another topic I'd throw out there.
I have something to say to that. I think the success in the coming week is very important in getting interest later, as far as like higher numbers in the next 6 months doubling. If what Occupy seeks to accomplish during the NATO summit, if they accomplish that, it's going to turn a lot of eyes and a lot of ears, and more people will want to be involved. So I think that's really important.
Anyone out there have any proposed topics? Discussion? Once, twice, 3 times? Alright, so we will break out for a quick, probably maybe 10-15 minutes. Anyone that want to talk about drugs and at least the view of it and people that use them, I guess go over by the guy that posed it up over there in the corner. Anyone that wants to talk about the next step of Occupy and kind of how we get there, just kind of come to me over here for the most part. If you don't want to talk about any of that stuff, just want to chill and chat with the person next to you or meet new people, feel free to do so. So for the next 10-15 minutes, we're going to have a quick breakout. And,
Freezing. How are you sure?
I'm sorry. DJ and Mike are waiting for us over at the Cernak. At the door? No, they're inside.
I guess go around one by one, give like a quick minute kind of spiel of what you each think, and then from there I guess we'll just bounce around. So I think probably one of the biggest aspects that's going to help us kind of drive this forward is going to have to be education. And I'm not just saying teach-ins that we invite people and hope that people kind of show up and oh shit, people didn't show up, well we're still going to hold teach-ins. I think it's going to actually going to have to kind of come down to almost forcing some of the information down onto people and make it unavoidable for them to kind of escape facts for the most part. And then there's going to come down to a point where we have to try and fight some type of battle against the media companies because how they manipulate information really does us a discredit for the most part. And trying to win the war on information is going to be a huge step.
On a direct response to that, Occupy Seattle, they agree with you. The teachers, we can have teach-ins all day long, and if the same people that already know it come and learn a little bit more, it's not really that beneficial.
Yeah.
So what they started doing was having teach-ins in front of banks, and having a teach-in. And the people that would normally come are there anyways, but they use a mic check to express all the knowledge out into the open, and they just scream every bit of it. I mean, they just mic check the entire teach-in to make it so that the public can't turn their ears off. They may not hear all of it, but they're going to hear something, and they have attracted people over to hear what they're saying that way. It's a method that I didn't think would work, but it did. Yeah, the wobblers. Yeah, wobblers. Yeah.
Anyone's thoughts?
I think we should look at this election coming up a lot more closely. In fact, I think we should build a movement around the election as it builds up, as it comes up. The electoral system is the heart of this political system. Vote for Joe, vote for Sam, vote for Susie, whatever, and that's supposed to be our salvation. That's supposed to, that's the way this system works. And it's obviously not working. It's not democratic. And so I think that I've been pushing for an anti-electoral campaign, and I think that could build the movement in a big way. Because all you have to do is get people not to vote.
No, we definitely have time to plan something around that. We're going to be thinking something that's either counterculture, actual occupation, or something completely different. Because we have time to start to plan something that can be coordinated in several cities and states around the country.
Yeah.
Well, just writing in on the ballot.
There are all kinds of things we can do.
There's people just saying write-in Bradley Manning. That's been kind of going around a lot. There's also been write-in nobody. The actual word nobody.
Write-in We the People. Or write-in Occupy.
Each person vote for themselves for president.
Also, as a point of information, that building with the point up there next to the Aon building, that's the Obama headquarters. We could occupy that.
It's all four now.
They have the whole building?
Not the whole building. It's in there. It's in there.
Yeah. Just on the thought of an anti-electoral campaign, that's definitely something I've noticed. There's a lot less kind of radical involvement with Occupy in the last months, and it seems like it mainly in the cities that I've been to, it's more on grounds of reform versus revolution. The idea of removing consent from the system and participation from the system appeals a lot more to the radical community. I think that's a really good idea because I think that's appeals a lot more to a radical community and people who believe in a larger sense of change than different laws, different politicians. So I think that's a really good idea to grow numbers, because it's something that a lot of people can. I mean, it's something that's been around for a very long time. You know what I mean? For Occupy to get behind something like that, I think it's very beneficial to the movement.
I think at least maybe we probably won't be able to win over like the anti-election campaign, but we can definitely get the ball rolling. And probably the first thing that comes to mind is what about the people that don't vote? Because there's people out there that either A, don't vote, or B, feel like their vote isn't really valuable, but they still do it anyways because that's what you're supposed to do or something. Like, what can we do to kind of like get those people to be active? Like, what can we do to like, say the person that's not going to vote, okay, you're not going to vote because you actually don't believe in the system that's kind of corrupt and broken, and the illusion of choice you have between Corporation A and Corporation B candidate. What would it take kind of to get those people out and mobilized and kind of involved with us? That's what I'm trying to think, because there's a lot of people in that demographic that either A, don't vote, or B, feel like their vote doesn't really matter, but they still do it anyway.
We are in Chicago, Occupy Chicago GA. We're in a breakout session right now. People are talking about how to move the Occupy movement forward, how to control and maintain some consistency and some structure regarding illegal substances. And then people are talking about press conferences and things like that for NATO. And that's what you got right here at Chicago, preparing for the NATO summit.
We're going to raise some hell. I can guarantee you that. The last NATO that was around, Occupy wasn't around.
That's
it's a new game now, guys. Hey, feds, I know you guys are watching. It's a new game. We're going to take you on, and we're going to win this time. You guys killed a couple other people. Martin Luther King, you killed him because he wanted economic equality. And you even killed a Kennedy because he was speaking too loud. Even though he was a politician, he wanted to be DA, the U.S. DA. You can't stop us. We are unstoppable. We are the 99%, and we're not stopping this time. You're going to have a lot more bodies on your hands if you think you're going to stop economic equality this time. It's just not going to happen.
It's happening. It's a people's movement.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
We're against this whole system, this political system with the Supreme Court and all this bullshit, right? And we're for a democratic system of assemblies and other types of councils. That would be a huge statement, and so we're already here. They would be more likely to join us. That could grow us in a big way.
There's a lot of people going back to like Square One, where we're just holding marches all the time and like holding general assemblies and engaging people in direct democracy. It sounds like.
I think Occupy's done in really impoverished communities.
I mean, as a whole, I don't know about the city specifically. I've only been here for a few days, but I've noticed a lot of issues with not really appealing to like the truly impoverished communities, and those are the people who tend not to vote and tend to be completely apathetic to the system. And by showing, that you A, understand the struggle and B, support it, you have a lot more people who are willing to get involved with something that isn't just another let's fix the middle class movement, because it doesn't, ignore the underclass of America, which is the truly apathetic outside.
Also, in concert with the anti-election or the anti-electoral system campaign, Occupy Walk was thinking about maybe going around with a petition to get people to sign it to say we don't agree with how this government is run, we don't agree with the system, and we want it changed. And a petition would be a great way. You're not asking that much from people. You're just asking them to sign something, and then they can, feel like they're part of something without actually having to, jump into the water. They can put their toe in the water and, feel like they're part of the movement. And besides, when someone signs a piece of paper, you get all their information to contact them later for further actions that come up.
Just go back to the original, or everyone else
a little panorama view of Chicago. We are in the park on the waterfront, and some beautiful architecture in the city, as many people know.
Great, moron. But like you told me my whole life. Yeah, my brother turns into a little troll. Yeah, the walk was pretty interesting.
The energy here is it's kind of like the calm before the storm, I think. People are gathering. People are coming from all over the country. There are buses being prepared to ship people from LA, New York, and other places across the country. And so this is really kind of a preview of what is happening to prepare for basically probably one of the biggest national direct actions to happen so far this year in 2012. Some of the national actions are being kind of tied to some of the local actions that are happening here. One of them being the nice fingers. You see my fingers? Breakout meetings now, yeah. Thank you, Spa Kitty. I was at the Logan mental health care occupation today. We did some sidewalk chalk. There was a press conference there, and that is the second 24/7 healthcare occupation. The first one is at Woodlawn, and they're on basically on the north side of the city and the south side of the city. And so they're asking all occupiers that come from anywhere else in the country to plan on standing in solidarity. It was actually endorsed at GA this evening. They're asking all occupiers to stand in solidarity with the local action of healthcare, not warfare, which goes pretty much in line with what this NATO summit is about. Dignitaries from all over the world are gathering here to plan acts of violence throughout the world.
Occupy, but as you get more and more new people into Occupy, who don't have, the same ideology or the same, background or the same education, political education that a lot of occupiers do have. The danger is that it'll become much more easy for an outside force to co-opt the movement.
So I actually would highly disagree, because being a part of Occupy Chicago since day one, I know how all the different at least in Chicago, how all the different committees function, how we all end up trying to circulate information throughout Occupy Chicago, and for the most part, it's all somewhat structured the same way with committees and general assemblies and whatnot. And based on how everything works through direct democracy and whatnot, it's actually really hard to try and sway a big group of people passionate about change in a different direction. I've tried to not co-opt Occupy Chicago, but I've tried to implement new internal coordination strategies that would help kind of bring everyone together and which will allow for more easily flow of information to go around the committee. Just that everyone's informed on what each committee is doing, and I couldn't even get that accomplished. So I would love to see someone try and come into Occupy I'm just going to co-opt this and find out all the hassle to go through either getting all these committees centralized, because all the committees are decentralized. So in that sense, you have to try and get all of them together. And also the point of the summit. Yeah, part of it, that's part because each person has to do their own and they all keep it. If they can find a way to decentralize everyone.
Why is that?
We just keep the camera.
Why is that?
I'll explain later, but please.
All right. We are in a breakout session right now for the Occupy Chicago GA. It's probably going to wrap up here in a few minutes. People are just kind of talking about random aspects of what's going on here. NATO summit approaching, and it's going to be a pretty amazing experience. If you were watching this, then there are a few places you can go to get some information about what's happening here, and maybe we could ask a few questions from the press liaison team here. Just kind of getting a view of what's happening here. So maybe we could take a look at some of the information that's happening here. Specifically the
Mic check! Mic check! Mic check! Mic check! Bring it right in.
It's one of the flyers.
Alright, so we are kind of starting to wind down a little bit. So I don't know if each group, how many groups there were.
To eat really fast, and then I will come back here
if each
and
group
go back
maybe
to
do a quick
so
report back on what they discussed.
Because you probably want to ride back to right?
And then afterwards,
yeah,
we'll
you're
do
gonna go
a quick
grab
soapbox
And then go back here.
session, and then we will call it quits from then on, unless there's any other announcements you will want to make. So one person, each one of the groups want to report back on what they discussed, at least in those parts. Just general notes, that could be super detailed. Anyone else? I saw a group over there. Or not. Come on, people, this is direct democracy.
Yeah.
Your voice be heard. Trying to talked about, yeah, our group talked about the possibility of setting up an anti-election campaign, or at least something that would kind of speak out to all the people that don't believe in the two-party system, that people that maybe don't vote, and how we can maybe mobilize all those people to help grow our numbers. Let's see, talked about possible co-option, 99% spring, and what are we talking about like really early on? Stuff. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, education. Yeah, that's it. Education and information we were talking about as well. At least spreading that is a good tool to help grow our numbers and mobilize more people. So yeah, there's that. So, any other groups want to report back? What they discussed?
What did this drug group talk about?
Okay. So, lastly, probably the real essence of General Assemblies is the soapbox session. Get up, say whatever you want about anything. Yeah.